Hello. Hey, Maureen. How you going? I can see that there are 4 people here. One of those is me looking at myself, which I still find weird. And I know Maureen's, oh, hi Karen, hey Melissa. Hey, now we've got a few more people coming in. Hello, hello, hey Mary. Excuse me while I slip some tea. I try not to slip too much. Now, do you like my new craft mat? So I got this and I'm not entirely sure, because I actually got 2 craft mats and I wasn't quite sure which one would be better for these live videos. There's this one, which I think, I mean, with these cards on it, looks like it's showing pretty good contrast. But I also got another one which I thought was white. It turned out to be clear, so I've just stuck some white card behind it, but it looks a bit grey, so I'm just gonna see what that looks like and we'll get your opinions of which one you think looks better, was easier to see. I mean, the clear one, you can see my fingers underneath it here, so it's not actually white, it's a bit grey. You like both? Siomara, nice to see you here. Anybody else got a preference for one or the other? If nobody's got a particular preference, I think I'll go with the black just because it doesn't have the white stuck behind it. Black has more contrast, you think, Maureen? Good evening, Susan. Well, here it's good morning, but good evening to you. Alright, so I was having a chat on Facebook with Nicole a few days ago, and because I thought, oh, I'm not entirely sure what I want to do for this live video this month. Flamenco, hey, you think the black is best? Anyway, I had a few cards that I have made this month, which I set aside to show you all, and now, do you think I can find them all? I've put them all in different places. Ugh. Hold on, I'll show you. I'll see if I can find them. Okay, there's that one, and there's that one, there's that one, not those, because they're not even. I think I'm missing one. Anyway, so I made these 2 with the current products. I also made this one with the Pisces girl. And do you like the rainbow fishies in her hair? I quite like the rainbow fishies in her hair. And I made this thanks with Santa. And I made that with some paper glitz, the Christmas red paper glitz. Hey Kelly! And I made this shaker card with the new crystalline diamonds in the shaker element. But I don't know if you can see behind that shaker element. I always like to put something behind a shaker element. And I love this window with the hello. I think I've said many times. My favourite cards to send are hello and hugs. But behind that is one of the 2 favourite products this month, which I also used on these 2 cards. You can see it's the stencils, and we have 2 of the stencils. It's actually a re-release because we had, yeah, the Pisces girl is really cute. I love her. Yeah, the happy birthday to you. I'm going to be using that today. But here's the stencil. I'll just put it on the backer so you can see what's going on. It's very similar to one that was released years ago by Picket Studios, but it was slightly smaller, and this one is, it fits across, you can see it fits, yeah, big enough to fit right across a standard size card. But we also have the slim one as well. So I thought I'd like to use the stencil today, and I quite like to do a rainbow because, hello, have you met me? My name is Michelle. My favourite colour is blue and rainbow. But I thought, oh, I don't know whether this one's a bit too simple, and this one with the alcohol ink, there's, I mean, the dye is fabulous, but there's not really much going on other than the dye and the diamonds here. Anyway, Nicole said, have you used alcohol inks with paper glaze extender? And I went, what? So this is what we are going to be doing today, and I had a plan of what I was going to do, and then just this morning, like 2 hours ago, I thought, what if I try this? And the thing that I tried turned out so good that I'm hoping that I can get through my first card today quickly so I can show you the second thing as well. All right, so I'll try very hard not to get distracted. Anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a rainbow, and I'm going to use the stencil that I've used on this card, and I am going to make a rainbow, but I'm going to make the rainbow in this orientation. So I might start with red at the top. I usually start with red at the top, but anyway. But yeah, with the stencil, and what I'm going to use with the stencil is paper glaze extender. My tub doesn't have a label on it. It's a very early one. Paper glaze extender and alcohol inks. Now, I resisted alcohol inks for the longest time, but hey Christy, nice to see you. Yeah, I resisted alcohol inks for the longest time, but now that when I actually caught the bug, I fell hard. So I have a lot of alcohol inks, and what I did was I actually tested this twice. Actually 3 times, I lie. I tested this 3 times. What I did first of all was I thought, okay, I'm just going to put some paper glaze extender by itself through the stencil onto some just plain white cardstock. This is Nina Solar White, and I wonder, hopefully I'll catch up to the video so you can see this. I'm just waiting for the lag so I can see where I'm actually showing this. Anyway, I put paper glaze extender through, there we go, through the stencil, and then I just dropped some alcohol inks over the top just to see what would happen. I knew it wouldn't be particularly good because it's just plain paper, and you can see that in some places like here it's gone really wacky, but also if you put enough pressure with your fingernail you can actually scratch it off. So yeah, not that happy with that. Anyway, this one I mixed alcohol inks with the paper glaze extender before I added it through the stencil. Now this turned out better, and it is so soft. It's like flocking. Honestly, I mean, it's not flocking, but it feels like flocking. It's so soft and touchy-feely. It's still, if you scratch, it's not as easy to scratch off as this one, but you can actually still scratch it off. But, I mean, how many people actually go to your cards that you give to them and, like, go at them with their fingernail and try and scratch them off? Not many. So, this would work. However, I thought, I'm going to try something else. This one, what I did was I mixed paper glaze extender and the paper glaze Snowdrop White, which is this one, which is also unlabeled. It's an early one. And some alcohol ink. And this one, it is not quite as soft as the one without the paper glaze in it. This one's more touchy-feely. This one is still touchy-feely, just not quite as much. However, there is no way you're going to scratch that off. No way at all. So, you could do both ways, but I'm going to do this way today. Okay, so I'm going to use the paper glaze and the paper glaze extender and mix them with alcohol inks. However, I'm actually going to be using 6 different alcohol inks because I am a moron, and I don't know how this is going to work, but we're going to try it out anyway. And you can watch me fail altogether. All right, so I've got a non-stick craft mat here, which I'm just going to be using for the paper Glaze and Glitz, and you can see it's very well loved. While I mix them, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the narrow one. You can see a difference between these two stencils. By the way, this is in one of those new storage things, which is just perfect for the stencils. The flowers on the 6x6 are bigger than the flowers on the slimline. But also, because I'm trying to do a mashup between these two cards, I want there to be white strips down the side. The white strips are not going to be this wide, I don't think. But anyway, that's the plan. So I'm going to... I have actually got some pixie spray all over the back of this already, but not much. So I'm hoping... It is a good idea to actually use pixie spray with stencils when you're using... Oh, no, that's not going to work. I'm going to have to spray it again. That just didn't stick well enough. And when you're using paper glaze, and especially when you're using paper Glitz, it's a really good idea to use pixie spray. Where'd the lid go? To make sure that you don't get anything leaking underneath the stencil. However, I have found... Oh, what fell? Something fell. Oh, my cards fell. Great. Fabulous, Michelle. When you use paper glaze extender with the paper glaze, which will make... It'll turn your paper glaze from shiny to matte, and it just gives the most amazing texture. The paper glaze is a lot less likely to leak underneath the stencil when you do that. Alright, so I am going to... Now stuff fell off my desk and I'm just trying to find everything. Alright, let me just put that away. And I'm just going to be using some mask, and I'm just going to mask off just those little edge bits. And I'm going to be moving this because I need my craft mat, my non-stick bit, to mix up my paper glaze. Alright, so... where did my spatula go? I had the spatula out. There we go. Oh, I'm so entertaining because I'm a mess. I'm just looking for everything, things falling off. Oh my god. Yeah, this is a really... I mean, yesterday was the first time I actually used alcohol inks with paper glaze, and I've come up with 2 different ways of doing it. Hopefully we'll not run out of time, and I've just talked for 13 minutes. Oh my god. Alright, I'll go through the colours. I have, and the reason I've chosen these particular colours is not just because they're rainbow, is because they're a dark rainbow. Because when I did the sample, and now I've lost the other sample. Oh my god, you are a mess. This sample, I used my favourite alcohol ink colour, which is Cobalt. And that's the colour it came out. So it really made a pastelified, there you go, I've just made up a new word, pastelified the alcohol ink. So I didn't want it to be really, really pale rainbow. I wanted it to be like a bold rainbow like that. This, by the way, isn't alcohol inks. This is alcohol pearls. So slightly different colours. But yeah, that's why I chose these colours. So I have Crimson, I have Valencia, I have Honeycomb, I have Clover, I have Cobalt, which is running out, and I have Vineyard. So they're the colours I'm going to be using. Alright, so what I'm going to do to start with is And I need some more of the Snowdrop white. Alright, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out what I think is going to be enough for my card front and then add some, because I don't want to run out in the middle of a card. And I do, by the way, have a plastic container on the floor beside me, which I'm really hoping I don't kick, that just has some water in it, so that when I'm finished with the stencil I can just plonk it straight in there, and yeah, I don't have to go and wash it immediately. Alright, so what I'm aiming for here is approximately a 50-50 mix of the Paper Glaze Snowdrop White and Paper Glaze Extender. And I don't know how well you can see, but the Paper Glaze is so shiny. It's got this sort of pearlescent sheen to it. The Paper Glaze looks like putty at this stage, and it feels like putty. But when you mix them together, basically you'll get rid of the shine. You'll still have a bit of the metallic, sort of opalescent, sort of, not opalescent, sort of pearlescent shimmer, but it won't be shiny anymore. It mattifies it. I'm not doing a very good job of mixing this up. It's a very big mess, but that's okay. And the back of my panel is probably going to get hella messy as well. But again, that's okay, because I'm not doing it straight onto a card base. I'm going to stick it onto a card base, so that's okay. Alright, so what I'm going to try to do, and I know I'm going to fail, but hey, I don't care. I'm going to try and sort of divvy it up into, oops. By the way, I don't know if you can hear my dad talking on the phone next door in the kitchen. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Alright, we're here for the mess. Thanks, Kelly. Okay, I'm going to try, actually no, what I'm going to do, see, mess. I'm trying to avoid getting it on my black craft mat, and I just failed completely. I'm just going to get another spatula and scrape that off. I want to do them in order so I don't get mixed up, because that's the kind of thing I would do. I'm trying to work fast and failing abysmally, but I want to make sure that my yellow pile is ever so slightly bigger than the others, because it is very easy for the other colours to sort of overwhelm yellow, I've found, when you're doing a rainbow. So you always want to try, and I've got Christina Werner's voice in my head saying preserve the yellow. It's going to be, if I manage to get up to the second technique that I'm going to do today, it'll be even more important for me to preserve the yellow, because it's very easy for it to get overwhelmed. Alright, yellow, that'll do. Alright, I'm going to do orange. And of course, bottles aren't agreeing with me. Don't want. Yeah, excuse the mess, but I craft here exactly. Oh no, this bottle won't open. Oh, just won't open. I'm gonna have to try a different red. Where's another red? Red pepper. Oh, that one opened straight away. Oh, there we go. We are now using red pepper alcohol ink instead of whatever that horrible one was that refused to open for me. Okay, I'll do the orange one first. It is a bit mottled, but we'll try and avoid that. It'll get a little bit more mixed up when I actually add it through the stencil. Okay, red. Oh, come on, red. It's actually easier to mix with this thinner one, so I'll just stick with the thinner one, I think. It's not very red. The red and the orange is looking very similar, so I'm going to add some more red. And time for a baby wipe because I've already got it all over my fingers. I'm just going to wipe up this bit while I see it. It'll be easy to scrape off the non-stick craft mat, not as easy to scrape off the black one. So that's why I'm scraping it off while I see it. Okay. Making a mess, but hey, whatever. Oh, it's pretty already. I don't know if you're seeing the same thing that I'm seeing, Yvonne. Doesn't look pretty to me, it looks like an absolute bomb site. Yeah, I'm not a fan of wearing gloves. Just because in a previous life, which for those of you who've been to my lives before, you might have met Trisha, who I used to work with. Trisha and I used to teach biology at the University of Melbourne. And so we used to actually have to wear gloves a lot for various different techniques where we were using chemicals that were nasty. So yeah, I've had enough of wearing gloves, and I don't actually have to. And I mean, it doesn't worry me that much if I get gunk on my hands, as long as I can wash it off. I'm happy. Alright, let's go in with this green. I just cleaned off everything then because I started with the yellow because it was the palest, and I quite happily went straight to the orange and then straight to the red. But then I went to the green, and so I didn't want there to be red mixing with the green because I didn't particularly want mud on my project. Look at that blue. Oh, look at the blue. Alright, and the purple I think is going to be quite dark actually. Oh no, it's not too bad. I mixed in a little bit of the blue with it, but that's alright. Alright, now, losing places to put stuff. I'm just going to move my cards out of the way so they don't get all dirty. Now, where's my card front? I'm just, oh god, and my mask has just ripped off my card front. That'd be the way. Hopefully the actual adding of the stuff onto the stencil will go really, really quickly now. Please keep your fingers crossed for me, please. Because as I said, I haven't actually done this exactly before. I've only done the tests. So, hold your breath. Alright, so we have red. We have red. Orange. We have orange. Now I want to preserve the yellow, so I'm wiping off the orange because I want the yellow to stay. Although I have plenty of the yellow. And I am overlapping it a bit. Yep, plenty of the yellow. Okay, green. That green's really pretty. So pretty. Does anybody else name any colour you see according to distress colours? Because right now I'm just seeing cracked pistachio. Alright, I need another baby wipe. I find that when I'm using paper glazes and paper glitz and everything, yeah, using baby wipes is the way to go. Alright, blue. And there's not going to be much room for the purple at the bottom, but we're going to fit it in. By hook or by crook, we will get it in there. And purple. Oops, I don't want to overlap it too much with the blue. Let's scrape that down. There we go. So we've got a bit of mixing between the colours. I'm actually going to go back in with the blue a little bit to cover up some. I've got too much purple. I just seem to be dragging the purple further up. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Okay, so just wiping off my spatulas before I do anything else. I'm trying to do this quickly because I don't want my stencil to get stuck to the cardstock. Now here's the big reveal. Look at that. Look at that. Alright, hold on. I'm gonna... I don't have anywhere to put anything. Made a mess. Alright, so stencil is in the bucket of water right now. Just dumped it straight in. And card panel. Oh, got a little bit of a fingerprint on it. I might cut it down. I've got a fingerprint of blue right on the edge. I'll cut it down. That's okay. We can do that. Alright, now the red has come out a bit orangey, but that's okay. That's okay. You can make it, you can differentiate between the what's meant to be the red and what's meant to be the orange. It's okay. But yeah, I'm happy with that. And see how nice and cleanly it's come out of the stencil. Alright, I'm going to just pop that aside for a tick. And I'm just going to see if I can get a little bit of this cleaned up. Doesn't matter if I don't get it all cleaned up, because as I said before, you can actually scrape this off this when it's a little bit more dry. But the more I get off now, the easier it's going to be for me later on. I'm not going to be able to get all of it off, but that's okay. But you can see it's not taking forever to clean up. Yeah, it is. It did really come out quite peachy, didn't it? The orange, the Valencia mixed with the paper glaze and paper glaze extender. Oh, so many baby wipes. All right, what's the time? Oh, it's not even half past. How good is that? Happy with that, because I'm absolutely going to be able to show you the other technique that I wanted to show you, because luckily when I thought of it this morning, I actually set one up thinking, oh, I have to have time for it to dry. I'm going to have to do one now if it's going to be ready for later on. All right, I think that'll do. I'll clean off the rest later on, but you can see it hasn't taken that much time to clean off that mat. Alright, so that mat can go there. Alright, and see, my hands aren't that bad. Not that bad. I mean, not perfect, but not that bad. Alright, so that's that. And so that's going to be my card panel, but I can't do anything with it right now because it's wet. It's going to have to stay there and dry. But I'm going to show you how I'm going to finish the card, and then you might not actually see the actual stuck together finished card until later. I'll post it on my blog and post a blog link here. Hey Dawn, nice to see you. I've missed a few people coming in. I'm sorry if I haven't said hello to you. Alright, so the other thing I'm going to do with that card is, remember the card that one of the cards that I was trying to sort of do a mashup with was this one. And so I'm going to use the HB2U word die, which is fabulous. If you haven't already seen, Elena made the best card with this. She actually used this die as a negative space and put a whole lot of the crystalline diamonds behind it, and it was just fabulous. Just fabulous. But anyway, so I'm going to do that. This one I just cut out of black cardstock. Just plain black cardstock. But I'm going to put it up a notch because I'm going to use paper glitz in Black Rainbow instead. Now, you have seen me make panels of paper glitz on cardstock before, and you've just seen me using a spatula on black cardstock. So basically what you do is paper glitz, thwack some onto, in this case I'm just going to be using black cardstock, spread it out with a spatula, and then I get one of these like stencil pal kind of things and just scrape across that piece of black cardstock to spread it out nice and thin. Once that's nice and thin, I set it off to dry, and here's one I prepared earlier. So this is perfectly dry. I actually did this, I think, 2 days ago. So let me just see, I don't know if it's focusing on this, but nice to see you, Dawn. Multiple Dawns here today. Alright, so can you see it is not only shiny, but all that glitter. All of that glitter in there is just gorgeous. So I'm going to take my word die. Well, not exactly word die. HB2U is, yeah, the glitter in there is just beautiful. And I have actually done, I've made panels of cardstock with paper glitz on. I mean, I'll show you. I have a box full panels of white cardstock with various different colours of paper glitz on them, just sitting there ready to die cut with whatever I need to die cut it with. So it's always ready to go. So I actually needed a black one, but previous times when I've used a black one, I did it on white cardstock. Don't do that. Do it on black cardstock. It looks so much better when you do it on black cardstock. So yeah, and try that with all different types of the paper glitz. Try putting them onto a matching colour cardstock, because it just looks so much better. Alright, I'm just going to run this quickly through my die cutting machine, and I'll show you my top cutting plate in just a tick. It needs the Jennifer Maguire treatment, because oh my god, it is so bowed. It is so bent. My die cutting machine is on its last legs, I think, and it's, yeah. See, look at that. That's just, oh, so bad. Anyway, so you can see it pops out really easily. So I've just used, I always have got these tweezers that have really fine tips, so I always use them to pop. I'll just put this behind it so you can see. Just pop out little bits. And that's ready to go. Alright. So basically, as I said, I can't finish that particular card for you today because it's still wet. It's still wet, but basically what I will do is I will actually slice the edges off because I made a boo-boo there. That was just my own stupidity. I will plonk that on. I will put a few gems. So I was planning on using the clear gems from the Sequin Mix, but honestly, I might actually use some of the black gems when I put it together. Maybe. But anyway, the clear or the black gems from that mix. This is called Day and Night Mix, and that card would be done. Alright, so do you think that is... And now I've lost my card again. There it is. If I do that, I don't want to... I can't stick it down yet because it's still wet. But if I do that, do you think that kind of is a mash-up between those two cards? Yeah, black will pop more, but I don't know. The Happy Birthday HB to You is quite bold black. So I don't know. I'll have to have a think about whether I might put a mixture of the black and the clear, possibly. Anyway, so that's one card. But, as I said, I have a bonus technique for you, which is, I'm just going to take that off so this can dry. And slightly different, this one, but it is still using Paper Glitz Paper Glaze Extender. So I use the Paper Glitz Snowdrop White. I use the Paper Glaze Extender. Sorry, neither of those have labels on them. And I had in my mind, of course, alcohol inks. Now I did use these alcohol inks. Oops, I touched my computer screen and you've all gone small. There we go. I had used these alcohol inks. However, I had in my head, as I always do when I use alcohol inks, Yupo, because 99% of the time when I use alcohol inks, I use Yupo. So I had Yupo in my head. I also had my alcohol pearls out the other day, so they were in my head as well. So I was like, okay, Paper Glitz, Paper Glaze Extender, gorgeous stencil from the new release, rainbow, but Yupo and alcohol inks. So what I did was, and this is one I prepared earlier, this is Paper Glitz and Paper Glaze Extender, so the white Snowdrop Paper Glaze Extender through the stencil. So you pretty much see me do that because I mixed up the Paper Glaze and the Paper Glaze Extender first before I added the colour before. But then I just put it straight onto this piece of Yupo. This is not cardstock, this is Yupo. Okay, so if you've never used Yupo before, it is a synthetic paper. It's basically plastic. And it is super smooth. It is non-absorbent. Alcohol inks will move a lot more on Yupo than they will on normal cardstock. I mean, normal cardstock, I've showed you this one before. I put the alcohol inks and they just stayed where I put them. They just went plonk, that's where I am. Different with Yupo. So I thought, I wonder if Paper Glaze and Paper Glaze Extender would resist alcohol inks. Now, the answer to my question is no. Not exactly, but kinda. I'm going to show you what I mean. So, instead of alcohol inks, I've got alcohol pearls this time. If you've never used alcohol pearls, sorry for the noise, you have to shake them up. Getting my workout here today. Have to shake them up. Because at the bottom of them, I'll actually grab another colour and show you. When you leave them settle, can you see there's like a pale layer at the bottom of that bottle? That's all the sort of mica, the pearly stuff that's settled to the bottom. But when you mix them up, you can see that these ones don't have that layer at the bottom. I'm just going to make sure they're really, really well mixed up. And I'm going to put them in rainbow water because that's what I do. Alright, and I'm just going to get rid of them and bring in some alcohol blending solution. Now, I'm hoping that this is going to show up on the screen because I'm going to have to tilt my... Can I spell the paper? Y-U-P-O, UPO. So, a few different companies sell it. I know Tim Holtz has a UPO paper. I actually bought it from a store here in Australia called the UPO store, funnily enough, which no longer exists, very sadly. But yeah, you can get it in various different thicknesses. You can get it in translucent and opaque. This one is opaque, obviously. Sorry, I've just got little stuff on it. And alcohol ink just moves beautifully on it, but in order to get it to move beautifully, you have to use either alcohol blending solution, which I've got here, or rubbing alcohol. I tend to prefer to use the alcohol blending solution. Little word of warning, I actually have a spray bottle here, spray bottle with ethanol in it. So I've actually labelled it as ethanol. So that's rubbing alcohol. Just, I think it's 90% alcohol. And that's perfectly fine to do. It's perfectly fine to have rubbing alcohol. Yeah, you can get black UPO. Yes, it's fabulous. You can actually spray rubbing alcohol. However, never, ever, ever spray the alcohol blending solution because the alcohol blending solution has like a resin in it. And if you aerosolize that, you can breathe it in and that's really bad for you. So never, ever, ever do this. You should always make sure that you're not in like a really enclosed space. So make sure there's at least a little bit of air movement in your room, or you've sort of got space around you so that you're not sort of really enclosed in. Anyway, I am going to... I'm just going to put a few little drops. I'll start on the left and I'll work my way across to the right a bit later on. And I'm going to hold this up at about a 45-degree angle. Okay, so this edge is up. It's like around about the same height as my alcohol ink bottles. And the bottom edge is on my surface. And I'm just going to drip a few drops, and I'm holding it up. I'll show you in a minute. I'm just going to put a bit more of the blending solution to make it drip down more. Oh, look at that! Woohoo! And that was what I was hoping would happen. So you can see, and I've got it all over my hands, but that's just what happens when you use alcohol inks. That when it goes down here, it's actually going in between the bits that I've stenciled, so it's sort of showing out the pattern. I didn't want it to drip all the way down. Hey Denise. Alright, so I'm going to try again with the orange, a few drops at the top, not heaps, and then a couple more drops of blending solution, let it drip down. I'm holding it. I haven't actually used black UPO very much at all. I have this other stuff that's not actually UPO, but it's similar, which I don't actually have any in reach of me right now, but it's really similar to UPO. Okay, now I'm going to do more yellow than you're going to think is necessary, because I absolutely know that when I put the green on, it's going to overtake the yellow, and I want to preserve the yellow. So I'm going to put almost twice as much yellow as you think I should, but that's on purpose. Okay, let some run down. There we go. I don't want it to run right down to the bottom, but almost. Just so way too much yellow, but no, that was my aim. It's okay. Because watch when I put the green on, you will see it. It'll overtake the yellow. Okay, I don't want the yellow to drip any further. I think we're about right. Alright, I'll add some green over here. And let it drip down. So even now, the green is sort of sneaking across here. I didn't really want it, but hey. Bit more green. Let it drip. I love the look of drips of alcohol ink. Just a sort of organic. I mean, it's not organic, it's inorganic, but that's because I'm a science teacher. But yeah, it looks natural. It doesn't look contrived. Yeah. Oops, I need some more blending solution for the blue. Alright. Oops. Bit more blue. And I'll show you in a minute that you'll be able to see how sheeny shiny the alcohol pearls are. I love the colour that you get right here at the junction between the blue and the green. The sort of aqua-y colour that you get. Oh, I didn't tell you the colours of alcohol pearls. I mean, there aren't that many colours of alcohol pearls, but I'll tell you anyway, because they're the best names. And this one I can't even read. Deception. Red is Deception. Orange is Splendor. Yellow is Alchemy. Green is Sublime. This blue, there are actually two blues in the alcohol pearls. This is called Tranquil. And this purple is called Villainous, which is just, ugh. I still don't have the new Distress colour. That purple, the dark purple, I really need to get that. Alright, and some purple. I'm trying to angle it a little bit so it doesn't overtake the blue too much, because I want to maintain the blue, but I also don't want it to drip right down the bottom. Alright, that'll do. Yeah, so if you are using black Yupo, Lydia actually did a couple of videos where she's used white, what's it called? Snowcat white mixative. You can see I've used that quite a bit on the black Yupo, and then put the coloured alcohol inks over the top. Okay, so that, and see now that end is dry already. I mean, I did have to leave the stenciled panel to dry a lot earlier on, so I had that ready, but the alcohol ink on this side is already dry. So if I just leave the purple, because the purple I can still see is wet, but I'll just hold it up for you so you can have a closer look. And hopefully, I'm just waiting for the camera to catch up to where I am, because it's just a lag. Can you see the sheen and the shine that you get from those alcohol pearls? It's just, it's not showing up on the screen as much, but you can see how it's sort of, the alcohol ink or alcohol pearls have just overtaken that that stenciling right at the top, but at the bottom I've let it sort of drip, so it's a bit more, yeah, different kind of look. Alright, so that purple is still just a bit wet there. I'm just gonna let that dry for a tick. And while I do that, I'm just going to grab, oops, alright, my previous bit is dry now, so I can finish this card. timing. I've excelled myself with my timing today. I'm very proud of myself. Oh dear. Alright, I'm going to leave that to dry over there. I'll show you the one that I did earlier on, which is very similar, except... So that's the one I just did. This is the one I did earlier on as practice. There were two things wrong with this. First of all, I actually used the slimline stencil, which is fine, but I also didn't use any pixie spray on it. So some of the paper glitz and paper glaze and paper glaze extender got underneath, so the stenciling wasn't nearly as neat for a start. And also you can see the green overtook the yellow. You can see orange and green right next to each other there, that just overtook the yellow, which is why I was trying to be so careful with the yellow here. And the green and the purple, for that matter, dropped right down to the bottom, which I hadn't wanted. I'll still use it for something, but I like this one better. Okay, so I just had a thought, because I'm going to cut this off. Let me think. Let me just think. I was thinking maybe I put it onto a black base. Let's have a look and see what that looks like. Now, where did my die cut go? I'm just losing everything, including my mind here, guys. I had that die cut and it's completely just gone missing. I might have to cut another one. Luckily I have enough to cut another one. It's gone. It's gone, but what do we reckon? Oh, there it is. I found it. You can stop looking now. What do we reckon on... We have a choice. And because these videos with me are interactive, I ask for your opinion on things, I could either... Where's a piece of white? I could do it like that with black borders, or I could do it on white, like that, or, you know what I'm going to do? Just because Dawn said I like both of them. Are you talking about these backgrounds, or are you talking about the alcohol ink panels? I don't know which one you're talking about. What I'm going to do, is I'm going to cut down this rainbow panel just a bit and then put a thin black strip there and there, because I think it needs something to anchor it. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. But I don't want it too narrow. Yeah, I like it with a black too, but I don't like it with all black. So yeah, I think I'm going to add not very thick black strips, just very narrow black strips. Okay, one. Try and get them uniform. And this black cardstock is my favourite. It's Hero Arts black cardstock. Alright. I thought I'd lost the die cut again, but it's just playing hide and seek on my on my desktop. Alright. I'm putting heaps of adhesive just because this is a slightly heavier panel now that it's got all that paper glaze and paper glaze extender on it. And actually. The panel is slightly too long for my card base. It's just overlapping it just a little bit. Keep in mind, everybody, that I could have just done this with just different colours of paper glaze and paper glaze extender. But I just thought it's just another way that you can get some more out of your paper glaze and your alcohol inks together, which is always good, getting more out of your products, isn't it? I always like getting extra out of my products. Alright, so yeah, absolutely. Oh gosh, this glue, the lid, just yesterday popped off on me, and it's just popped off again. I need to clean it out properly. Okay, I do need something white to work on right now because I'm gluing onto black. I need to see what I'm doing. Alright. Don't need a heap of this glue. Oh, and there goes the phone next door. Okie doke. So that's, yeah, I'm always very careful with using especially cardstocks that I've had difficulty getting in the past, like the Hero Arts Black, because they were out of stock for quite a while because of transport and supply chain issues. So yeah, putting a tiny little strip makes it look like you've matted it when you haven't. You've just used this teeny tiny little bit, and you can keep the rest for another project. Okay. So I'll just lay that down. And honestly, with this here, with that extra little bit of detail on the edge, I don't even know if I'll need... yeah, Kelly, I got the black cardstock directly from Hero Arts. Yep. Alright. But don't you agree that adding the paper glitz, the black rainbow paper glitz, just takes it up a notch? Just, yeah, see, I think at this stage on this card, I don't know if I think adding black gemstones would be too much. Keely, you're here. You'll have to catch the replay. We've been having fun. I've been making an absolute mess. But that's normal for me doing a 7 in 7 video, isn't it? That's just what I do. I'm going to add some clear gemstones just because. Now, I have found with these gemstones, if I tip most of them out, I can pick the ones that are left in the container a little bit more easily, because I can, and they're generally, a lot of them will lay flat, so you can see which one is which a bit more easily and not have to sort of try and turn them over with your fingers or anything. So I'm thinking, where did I add them on this one? I quite often do this. If I make a card and I spend ages placing the gemstones, and I make another similar card, I just go back and go, oh yeah, I'll put the gemstones in the same place. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use this as a guide. And I will go. Boop. One. Oh, come off. There we go. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. One, oops, that one doesn't want to stay. Yeah, the clear ones are better, I think. I think adding the black ones would have been too much with the black paper glitz and the black stripes on the side of the card. I think the clear ones are the way to go. Absolutely. And oh, where'd it go? It came off. I don't know where it went, but I'm putting another one there. And 3 more down here, nice big one. So I love these. Oh, there it went. Some went in my finger. Oh no. Oh, I'm a mess. Oops, that's the wrong one. That's upside down. These, I love the fact that these gemstones in each of the packs come in a variety of sizes, because it's just satisfying in each little like group. Oh, came off again. Let's try another one. In each little grouping that you have, to have a mixture of sizes. Okay. So, and then I can just put all the rest back. And yeah, I always have difficulty putting a lid back on if I've tipped them into the lid, so now I don't tip them into the lid. Alright, so there is my, what's the time? 12:02. There is my mashup card between those two. If those two cards had a love child, this would be that love child. If, of course, Paper Glaze and Paper Glaze Extender and Alcohol Inks got in on the action. I will, with this one I'm not entirely sure what I will do with it, but I will do something with it, and I will post it here in the group sometime soon. But yeah, I haven't actually, and it's still just ever so slightly damp. Not, oh no, it's alright. It just glue on my finger, that was what it was. Okay. But I think I'll leave it there for today for this video. So thank you very much to everybody for watching. Oh, Meg, I didn't see you were here. Nice to see you here, Meg. All right, I'm just going back to some of the comments to make sure I haven't missed anything. By the way, if any of you were wondering where Nicole was today, she has a family Christmas get-together. So, yeah, she'll be catching the replay as well. So thank you very much for coming, and as always, Karen will be announcing the winner of the voucher from amongst everybody who's left a comment. So if anybody's here and is lurking and hasn't left a comment, leave a comment right now before I stop, because then you'll be in with a chance to win that voucher. You don't want to miss out on your chance to win a voucher. Okay, so thank you very much for allowing me to make a big mess in front of you. I am going to go off and completely clean my craft mat and my stencil that's been sitting in the water here, so it won't be difficult to clean off at all. But you do, yeah, stencils with Paper Glaze and Paper Glaze Extender, you really want to make sure you clean them as soon as you possibly can, or if you can't, just dunk them in water and leave them there. Okay. So thank you very much, everybody, and keep in mind that we still have how many more videos to come. We have Erica, we have Daniel, we have Nicole, and we have Karen. So there are 4 more videos to come, so you don't want to miss out on those. All right. Bye, everyone. Have a great day.